If your break-even ROAS is 3, it doesn't matter how many ads you launch per week. It doesn't matter what algorithm has just been released and how Andromeda is going to change. Your business model is broken. Your unit economics don't add up. They don't make any sense. So if that's the case, it's important that you rework it. So you decrease your cost of goods sold, you increase the price, you change the offer so that you can increase the AOV and afford a higher CPA. But if you need a ROAS 3 just to break even, that's a problem. And the reason why I'm saying this is because every time we onboard new clients, during the onboarding call, we ask them, hey, what is your break-even ROAS? And sometimes we hear the wildest numbers, 3, 4, 6, whatever it is. If that's the case, you have a problem. So first things first, let's clarify what is the difference between desired ROAS and break-even ROAS. Let's say I'm spending $100 on ads. Let's say from those $100, I'm making $300 in revenue. Cost of goods sold is about $50. Fees are about $10. So it's $160 in costs. So ads plus COGS plus fees. And $300 is the revenue. So $140 is the profit. In this case, 1.6 is the break-even ROAS. And it happens quite often that clients see this as their break-even ROAS because that 140 in profit is what makes them feel comfortable when it comes to scaling. The problem is that 140 is room for growth, is room for you to be more aggressive when it comes to scaling your ads. And if your competitors are seeing those $140 in profit as a way for them to scale their ads more aggressively and outspend you, you have a big problem because they're gonna smoke you. Let me give you an example. And this is kind of a relevant example, in my opinion, because it comes from one of our clients who was spending about $10,000 a month. This is a consulting client. And it was running on ROAS 10, which means about 100 grand in revenue per month. That's great. That's a lot of profit. If you are optimizing for profits, just keep doing that. But if you come to us and you ask, how do I scale? That's something that we should take into account. If you're optimizing for profit and your direct competitors is optimizing for scale, and while you're spending $10,000, they're spending $2 million a month because they're using that big profit gap that you have to fuel their growth, you're going to lose most of your clients to that competitor. And at some point, they're going to get you out of business. It's just the name of the game. I don't make the rules. I'm sorry. If they're spending those $2 million at ROAS 2, at ROAS 1.8, but they're able to keep getting new customers and to keep increasing their ad spend while you're stuck there, you're just going to get smoked. And I'm sorry, but that's what happens. That's the case. And this is something that internally at 99ads.com we call the scaling paradox, which stands for the more profit you demand today, the less scale you will ever be able to reach. The reason is quite obvious. If I'm not down to compromise on my ROAS for scale in order to get a better scale, I will not be able to achieve certain numbers. And obviously, this also depends on what stage your business is in. If you're in the growth stage of your business and you just want to make as many customers as possible, optimizing for profit might be deceptive. It's something that most likely it's not going to serve you well. If you are in the exit phase, if you already grew and now you want to make profit and now you want to trim the fat and now you want to optimize the costs, now it's time to optimize for EBITDA. What we see usually with our clients, they go absolutely wild during the growth phase. They scale as much as humanly possible. They build their massive client list. And then at some point, when they start thinking about exiting, they optimize the costs and they run their business for about 1 year, optimizing for EBITDA, maximizing profit, scaling back the ads, and making sure that for every sale they get, the profit is as high as possible. And that's how you get those multiple 8-figure exits. This is what we are seeing, at least. This is something that I see as a playbook because I keep witnessing it year after year. But it's quite important for you to understand it, because if you're in the growth phase and you're optimizing for profit already, but within the same industry, there's one of your competitors that right now doesn't care too much about profits, but cares about scale, and they are aggressive when it comes to it, good luck. Because if you're spending 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, but your competitor is spending 2 million, 3 million, 5 million a month optimizing for scale, that's going to be a problem. And by the way, what we see in our clients is that the ones that spend the most, the ones that are scaling the hardest, are also the ones that are very, very comfortable scaling at less than the break-even ROAS. They understand their break-even ROAS and they're very comfortable scaling at a loss because they know what is their time to second order, because they know what is their second order average order value, because they know what is the lifetime value in 60 days of their clients. And if that's the case, if you're competing with one of those, good luck. I mean, that's what you need. You don't need anything else. You don't need ad creatives. You don't need a different algorithm. It's just going to be a problem for you to stay in the market, for you to float for a couple of years, because these guys are going to eat the ground you are standing on. And sometimes scaling is not a creative problem, but it's a systems problem. And in this case, you have a big numbers problem when it comes to the ROAS and understanding how you are tracking your numbers and how you are projecting your numbers. Sometimes what you think is the problem is the number of creatives you are launching, the new update, how do you structure the ad account. But if you have a structural problem like the one I mentioned before in this video, you will never be able to scale. Real operators understand their numbers and are very comfortable being aggressive scaling their ads. So if that's where you want to go, I highly recommend you decide if you want to optimize for profit or scale, and at what stage you're going to change your target. I hope now you understand why certain brands keep scaling and why you can't. And if you need more insights like this one, if you want to work on your creative strategy, if you want to understand how real operators run their own in-house creative department, how they create winning ads on command every single week, how they come up with their creative strategy that allows them to spend millions of dollars every single month, you'll find in the description creativesystem.co. This is our consulting program. This is how we help our clients one-on-one build their own in-house team and scale their e-com store like big operators.